amazing. We are recording.
Okay. Let's
Alina, how are you?
I'm good, Andrew. How are yourself?
I'm very well. I'll just get you to bring the microphone so it's kind of like, yeah, that's
Yep.
it. Yeah, awesome.
Perfect.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do?
So I currently still have a corporate job.
Yes.
Which we all most likely still have.
Yes, unfortunately.
However, I'm working on growing my business, which is, I like to call myself like an energy alchemist, an energy goddess. I'm very good at reading the energy in the room and shifting it with the help of light language and limiting beliefs and energy and those woo-woo things.
The woo-woo things.
They are a bit woo-woo, but...
Why? Why did you get into that?
So I started in personal development like 2 years ago when I first heard about people being able to manifest their dream life and manifest whatever they desire, to be honest. And I started looking into it. And obviously, the more you read, you grow, you work with mentors, you work with coaches, you develop. And I got to the conclusion that manifesting is great. We all can manifest, but no manifestation or nothing we have or don't have in the life, it's because of necessary manifestation. It's about your energy and how you feel, what you think, every single thought that goes in your head right now will create a reality in front of you in the 3D in some stage later. It could be in the next 5 minutes. It could be in the next 6 weeks.
Okay. So take me back though. Like, what happened 2 years ago? Why did you get interested in this thing called personal development?
Well, so I think it tracks back to when I was a child and I grew up in Romania.
Oh, we're going right back now. Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
When my mother always used to tell me that whatever you put your head on, you can definitely achieve it. There's nothing you can't do. The word you can't doesn't exist. It exists. You don't want to. And obviously, especially as kids, we're very good at saying, oh, I can't do that, Mom. I can't read, like whatever. But that was not allowed in my vocabulary. So then I was like, okay, well, if I can do everything, then what can I do other stuff? So that's more or less how I landed in Australia. And to be honest, 2 years ago, there was not a real event that happened in my life. So it's not something dramatic that, oh my God, it happened. But
you fell pregnant.
No.
Or like you had a breakup.
No.
Or like you won some lottery. Or maybe you didn't win the lottery.
No, I did not win the lottery. Probably that's why I'm here.
You didn't win the lottery. That's it.
I did not. But I will let you know when I do.
Please do.
And I'll let you know how I did it.
Please.
Who knows? Maybe we're going to be sitting on this couch very soon and you're going to interview me how I won the lottery.
I mean, you know, if you want to share the secrets with everybody, that's okay as well.
Well, when I figure out, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Okay, so your mum kind of like really instilled that, I guess, mindset around as long as you can put your mind to something, you can achieve it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I did notice throughout my life that every time I wanted something, it doesn't matter how impossible it looked. It doesn't matter what other people said. When I had my mind that that's what I want, I always got it.
Does that mean you're stubborn?
Oh, very, I would say. I mean, I'm also Capricorn as well. So Capricorn and without being stubborn, I think is a bit hard.
Yeah, okay. But so like, I guess when you're younger, like, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I
like
remember
a
at some
ballet
point.
dancer?
Yes, I did ballet for a bit. I don't know how you pictured that at.
Of course.
I did ballet.
I saw your feet. No, I'm kidding.
No, I did ballet for a bit, but no, that wasn't my thing. I think I wanted to be a princess in some point.
A princess?
Yeah.
Isn't it every girl's dream?
I think so.
Thanks
yeah.
to fucking Disney.
And also thanks to the Royal House of Windsor, whatever they call each other
Yeah.
themselves.
I mean, look,
There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just saying.
you can still manifest that if you want it.
I potentially could. I just don't want it anymore.
No princess. Okay. What else?
I think I wanted to be in finance services because my mom always worked for like the ATO equivalent in Romania.
Oh,
So I always
she was the collecting taxes.
yeah. Why
You-
not? It's a
you-
fun job. I would do that in Romania. Ooh, I will catch some very bad people very quickly.
Hang on. Do they do things differently in Romania? Like
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how it operates here.
Why is it a fun job? Is it like the SWAT team? They go in.
Well, I'm not really like a SWAT, but I think similar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it operates here.
Right. Okay.
But they're especially back then I thought it was fun, and I think it will be fun if I will do it in Romania. I'm not sure how it works here. I think
Yeah.
here is more behind the desk thing.
Yeah. It's more like legalities and stuff like that.
Yeah,
here,
no,
I
in
think.
Romania it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Or at least back then, my mom will just walk. So you have a business here. She will just walk in and she will ask for your paperwork, and then she will identify if something is wrong, and then you get your fine. You're not being told she's coming. You don't know which business they're gonna target next.
Hang on. So your mum was the one that was issuing the fines.
Yes.
Jesus. So you wanted to be in finance
Yes.
or something along
Well, I
the-
did finance banking for my degree, so
Ah. I was in banking and finance for 12 years.
yep.
Mm.
So you like your numbers?
Back then, I was so I've actually got an electrical engineering background, and then I did banking and finance for 12 years. So I was very like analytical, and I was always trying to, I guess, work stuff out with like numbers and things like that. And then I slowly moved into what's called Lean Six Sigma, which is the manufacturing methodology where it's evidence data-based decision making and stuff like that. And then I kind of like moved into through facilitation and storytelling. I moved into consulting, and I've been doing consulting for 14 years. But in the last 12 years, which is when I started doing photography, become more creative and, tried to, I guess, work out like, am I more creative or am I more analytical?
I think we are all creative and analytical. I think is what we've developed and what we practice more of, we are better of.
Yeah.
So if you want to become very good at creative, the more you practice, the better you're going to be.
I think I'm definitely more creative now than I was before. And I get more satisfaction and more reward out of being creative because I'm
Authentic.
Yeah. And like I'm showing people art or I'm helping to create art with individuals.
Yep. And
Yeah.
that helps you be in your, I don't know, in your skin more or less, not trying to
Yeah.
pretend or do something that you don't really
When
enjoy or like, or you just being told like a robot that you need to do that or that.
am I just in my skin now?
I think so. You know what I mean? I mean, in your own element, like
Yeah.
you just enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Sorry, I may use some words that may not sense.
No, that's okay. I totally get it. I was just being facetious.
Of course.
Okay, so when did you come to Australia?
2011, October 2011. So that's been 14 years now.
Okay. And what did you do when you, like, before you left Romania?
I did my,
Oh, you did finance?
I did the bachelor in finance banking.
Boring.
You have one as well, so boring both of us.
Yeah. And then, so you came here.
And I did another master in.
You did another master's?
Yep.
In economics.
No, in business management.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Um.
And trust me, when I landed here, I had no idea what I'm doing. And I
Yeah, I
think my
bet.
English, I remember somebody asked me to bring them a teaspoon, and I was looking, and I'm like, I don't know what a teaspoon is. So I end up bringing them a spoon.
You know what a teaspoon is now, though.
Yeah, I do. I promise I do.
Um. Okay, so now you're a product manager.
Yes, but that's
Well,
my corporate job.
Yeah, your corporate job. You're a product manager,
Yes.
and you're trying to do this like energy.
Energy healing, energy alchemist, because it's more, you can be healing and alchemist as well. It depends how you shift and what, if it needs to be healed or what's going on within.
So
And I'm not trying to do it. I am doing it.
yes, you are doing it.
Yep.
Because that's why I've got you on the podcast.
Clearly.
So what's involved in healing someone with like the energy?
Well, first of all, the person does need to want to be healed, and the person does need to understand that not everything is as it seems. Because, it's that thing that
What
if
do
you
you
don't.
mean, Alina?
Hmm?
Not everything is as it seems.
Well, not everything is as it seems, just because, let me find a quick example. Just because everyone got treated their depression with pills, that doesn't mean that's the only way to treat depression.
This is so true.
Just because everyone goes to the doctor and the doctor tells them when they have diabetes that they need to take insulin, that doesn't mean it's the only way, because you can also find other ways, which are natural ways to help it.
To get insulin.
Not to get the insulin. When you have diabetes, you can also start going for walks and then drop your, I don't know exactly the levels, but the doctor will just give you the insulin and then you're addicted to it the whole life.
Yeah, there's definitely alternatives to what we've been taught and promoted, I think.
100% they are. And light language and energy healing is one of them, but there's also Reiki. There's so many nowadays, to be honest. I don't even know them all personally. So they are. And a lot of them show results. But because, up from, I don't know, let's say 10% of them failed, and only 90% were successful, is not good enough for the government to accept it as a form of healing.
So have you experienced light healing for yourself? And who did you go to?
I have not. I had sessions done on me, but I did not had anything. I didn't had any chronicle thing to actually say that it's gone.
Right.
But I did a healing on a beautiful boy called Alex. The doctors want to diagnose him with autism because he wasn't talking, he wasn't communicating, and anything. And 48 hours after the session, he started feeling better. And then 2 weeks later, the doctor said that they misdiagnosed him, and now he's starting to get better and everything. And his mom is so happy and so grateful.
I think there's a lot of misdiagnosis because there's a lot of doctors.
Yeah, but that child in particular was quiet because of a bit of trauma that was happening in the family, like a lot of screaming, a lot of shut up, a lot of like things like that, and that made him close in himself, and then he slowly start releasing back. So
I think a lot definitely has to be said about like the home environment and like all the language that's kind of like used at home and how it's kind of, expressed and things like that can create like a lot of trauma in people.
And especially in children up to 7 years, because I don't know exactly the right words, but since you developed in your mom's belly up to 7 years is when your subconscious mind records everything, and that's how your life more or less patterns are going to be based on what you've heard, seen, felt, and learned during that time. And that's the most critical part of life for everyone, to be honest.
And so I guess what's involved in doing or having a light healing session? Do you use a flashlight?
No, I don't use a flashlight.
Sorry.
I use my my intuition and my voice, and somehow I'm getting guided of what to do, and I kind of know what's going on, or at least I can figure out.
Oh, this is real woo woo.
Yeah. No, you have intuition as well. You just haven't developed it.
Oh, how do you develop your intuition?
You start practicing, and some exercises that are very easy to do is you literally get a deck of cards, and you just put the cards and you try to more or less guess if it's heart, if it's I don't know the sign.
Spades.
Yep. Which
Yep,
sign is
diamonds.
it? And then the more you do it, you'll see that you're actually going to know what card is coming. That's one of the ways my mentor taught me at the beginning when I started doing these things. And I was playing with those cards every night on the couch.
Really?
Yep.
Hang on. So you've got a mentor?
I had a mentor back then. I'm not working with him at the moment. He finished the course. It was a 12 weeks mentorship course.
Oh.
Yes.
So there are courses out there that you can learn how to do this?
Yes, they are, 100%.
Oh.
Yeah. I think you can find a course for anything nowadays. You just need to name it.
You're not talking about YouTube, are you?
No. I'm talking about no. So I'm talking about proper classes where you just for 2 or 3 hours you talk to people. They give you exercises.
Yeah.
Another exercise he used to do with us at the beginning. So the classes were every Wednesday. He will give us some coordinates, and we'll have to close our eyes and see what we feel in those coordinates. And then we'll work it out. Once was the Eiffel Tower, once was island somewhere. I can't remember exactly. But you will just get the feeling of water or fire or a lot of people or busy or whatever. And then...
What?
Yeah. You just need to practice.
You just need to practice.
Yep.
So this is going to be like so fucking woo-woo for people.
That's fine.
I mean, did you have any like skepticism? Did you think to yourself, nah, this can't be right? Or were you always like, nah, I think I can do this?
I've never doubted that I can do it. It was just a matter of me having the time to practice it. Because it does take time.
Yeah, I bet it takes time. Everything takes time.
Yes. But going back to what you were saying, I think if you practice something, you can do anything you want. But
yeah.
The more you practice, the practice makes perfect, no? Sometimes. Obviously, if you start going to make me play tennis now, it's probably never going to happen. But that's what I'm saying. Who knows?
What do you got against tennis?
I just made one up because the ball is very little and I have to find it. So
No, I agree with you with that saying, but I'll just change the saying a little bit.
yeah, tell me, surprise me.
The saying is perfect practice makes perfect.
Yes, but at the beginning, you can't be perfect. So even the perfect practice is not going to be perfect at the beginning.
Yeah, but you can keep practicing, and if you're practicing wrong, then you're never going to get perfect.
Also true.
Yeah.
Yep, that's correct. All right, we'll include a word perfect in the saying. I agree with you.
I'm fascinated because I'm a light worker. I am actually a light worker. I work with people's auras, and I can see people's auras through my photography, and
Okay.
I help to. This is so going to come out the wrong way, but I manipulate the aura to get it to a level that I need to get it to in order to get the photos that I need to get. So if someone's, say, not having a great day, then I'll ease them into the photo shoot to get them to a level that we can get some really great photos.
So it's an energy shift.
Yeah, it's an energy shift. And then similarly the opposite way, if they're too high, then I need to bring them down, you know.
Yep.
Um, and look, I've been doing photography for 12 years. So I've had photographers ask me, how do I take the photos that I take? I said, one, you got to practice, you got to do the work. But two, I can teach you everything that I know, but you're never going to take a photo like me.
But that's correct, because you're authentic self. So there's not going to be any other person in the world who can do exactly what you do or exactly what I do. That, I mean, the exact way, because we can teach them everything, but the results of what they going to put that in practice is never going to be exact the same. Because we are unique human beings.
Yes, we are.
Even the twins, they still different, right?
Twins?
Yes.
Identical twins?
Yes.
Or non-identical twins?
Identical twins. They're still very different persons.
Are they?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
But their DNA is the same.
Don't get me into the medical stuff because I don't know how to explain that. The DNA is the same, but their soul is not the same.
Oh. Okay, you got me on the woo-woo. Their soul is definitely not the same.
Well, it can't be because they're not the same person.
I mean, if they're conjoined.
I don't know about that.
Do they share? No, they wouldn't. No. Let's maybe not get into that conversation.
No, let's
That's
not.
a bit too difficult.
Yes. And I don't know the medical terms, so I can't really answer.
And then the whole question is, at what point does the soul enter the body?
I don't know. If you ask a priest, he's probably going to have a completely different answer than someone else.
Any priests out there want to comment on?
Probably they do.
Please don't. I need. I'm not trying to be controversial.
No, I'm not sure. I believe it's the moment you got conceived in your mom's belly, but I may be wrong. I don't have any proof of what I'm saying. This is just my belief.
I mean, and then there's also there was a movie made out of it, I think. Was it 27 grams to 7 grams? The weight of a soul? I think it's 7 grams, isn't it? Or 27 or 28? Fuck, my memory's so bad.
I don't know which movie you're talking about.
But it was something it was all based on the fact that someone died, but then it's the story around how they died and there was a murder and blah, blah, blah. But
so how did they work out that something that's so invisible as a soul has 7 grams or 28 grams?
because they I don't know, they weighed themselves or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it was a bag of cocaine. I don't know. 27.
It could also be that they lost the blood because of the concussion they had if they were murdered.
It's a little bit morbid, Alina. Are you into horror movies?
No.
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 You strike me as someone that might be into horror movies.
To be honest, I haven't watched one in a while, so it's a bit different because when I was young and I wanted to watch them, I was always scared. But now I'm not really scared of like spirits and things like that anymore. So
yeah.
maybe it will be different. But
so does that mean you're into like witchcraft and stuff like that?
No, I don't know anything about witchcraft. But there are courses over there that teach you witchcraft as well. So
There are.
yes, there are. There's actually a place in the city called Spellbox.
Oh yeah.
And the ladies there can teach you how to do witchery if you're interested.
I think I know about Spellbox.
Yep. So, I don't know anything about witchery, but I do believe there's a chance in a past life I was a witch, but don't remember what I was doing back then too much. So
Ooh, now we're getting into the juicy stuff. So you believe in reincarnation?
Well, I do believe that the soul come multiple times to Earth.
That's reincarnation.
Yeah. Yes, kind of. Yeah,
Kind of?
You want to call it reincarnation, call it reincarnation. A soul has multiple lives, and the purpose of the lives why we come here is to expand, evolve, and learn more. So each life is going to be completely different to the other one. If you learn your lesson. If you haven't, you're probably going to be stuck in the same.
If you learn your lesson.
Yeah, because we come here to experience, because back where the souls come from, there's no bad, there's no good, there's no violence, there's no feelings. It's everything is just perfect, if you want to call it perfect. So when we come here, we have to we experience pain, we experience traumas, we experience things that where the soul is not on earth, they can't experience.
It's all the bad things. Pain, trauma.
Yes, but with pain and trauma, it's how we evolve, because unfortunately, and I'm pretty sure you noticed this, that a lot of people, until they don't hit a rock bottom, they don't change their behaviors. They just very, like, we are very human. Somehow, as a human being, we are very complacent and we keep following the same pattern. And it takes us to hit a rock bottom. Either is a breakup, either is a health issue, whatever. For everyone looks completely different. To wake up and see, hold on a second, what have I been doing here? Otherwise, you just live a life like a robot, which you just do what society told you to do, which is, I don't know, go to school, which I was reading somewhere today that the school is the biggest waste of time of children, because they have to learn how to read, to things like that, but what they teach you in school is not really relevant, because when you get out of school and you need to start working, what you've learned in school is not going to help you with anything.
Yeah, it doesn't teach you how to do the taxes.
Not the taxes. I'm talking.
And then your mum comes knocking on the door, give you a fine.
I'm not talking about that. You know what I mean. It doesn't prepare you for life. It doesn't prepare you to take decisions. It doesn't prepare you to work under pressure. It doesn't prepare you to learn what's good and what's bad.
Oh, these are all the common sense things.
There's a bit of common sense.
Yeah. School definitely doesn't teach you that.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't teach you how to, I don't know.
Did you like school?
I was very good at school.
Oh.
But that doesn't mean I liked it.
Right.
I think sometimes I still have nightmares in the night when I remember that I have to go to an exam or something. And I'm like, no, bloody not. I'm not doing that again.
We've kind of diverged a little bit, but I like it.
I just go with the flow. Whatever comes up has to come up.
So you believe in the soul coming back to...
Yes, I do believe in that.
To life.
I don't have any proof, but I do believe we come back to Earth sooner or later.
I don't have any proof either.
Well, if you look, I'm not going to give them the names because I'm not want to make marketing for them, but there are some very spiritual people in the US who actually claim that Buddha and Jesus are reincarnated right here, right now on Earth.
Right.
Yep. I don't know if that is true, but they seem to be very...
adamant.
Yep.
Right. The other day I did see something, a boy who, he was 3. He remembered where his dead body was from his last life, and he identified where the dead body was, and they dug up this bit of land and found a body of a 3-year-old boy there. I was like...
Okay, so the thing is that when you know how when a baby is born, when they need something, they just cry because they know they're important. You know how they don't have those things of worthiness that we later in life have, because we can later be like, oh, I'm not going to ask for help because you think you're not worthy. But when you're a baby, you don't care. You just cry and you get all the attention, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also because when you're little, and especially when you're growing at the beginning, when the society imprints and expectations and beliefs have not really been indoctrinated in your mind yet, you are more likely to remember your past lives and what happened not necessarily in the past life, but what happened when you were very little. Like, you will remember much better and you will connect things. That's why I'm pretty sure you've heard there are a lot of children who say that when somebody passed away, that they saw them after they died. And that is because they are way more open to see behind this 3D
world
when you just see, only you see matter. Because this matter is actually made of subatomic particles, which move very fast, and it's all actually energy at the end of it. So as a child, without the indoctrination that's been put on you by society, you are more open to see those things. That's why probably sometimes they have imaginary friends, or they see unicorns, or I don't know, everyone sees different things.
Unicorns.
That's the one that came to my mind. I don't know. Maybe you want to see a dinosaur.
I mean, I totally get what you're saying, and I think it's quite fascinating because,
And they're more creative as well, no? When they're little.
yeah, because they haven't been indoctrinated into. Did I even say that word? You know what I mean.
Yep.
They haven't had society's pressures put on them to then take their mind off everything else, which I guess is a little bit kind of like, if we were to use an analogy, the Matrix. Like they're not scarred by the Matrix or like sucked into the Matrix.
Correct.
Around, going to school and getting a job and
Pay for
making
the
money,
bills.
paying bills, and then constantly paying bills and materialistic things and yada yada yada, all this type of stuff. And I agree that kids are they're like a sponge that hasn't been used.
Yep. But everything you that's why I said it's very important when you're a kid, because they're like a sponge, and everything you tell them, they just keep absorbing.
Yeah.
That's why it's, I don't know, that's why a lot of children maybe have not self-love or anything like that, because they keep hearing the parents screaming, and they think that they tend to think it's their fault, even if it's not, because that's somehow why they think what they think. And yeah, those ages are very important. And to be honest, I feel like those years can shape your future a lot.
Yeah.
If you don't, I don't know, if you're not open, or you don't figure some personal development and later in the life.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely think, like you spoke a second ago about energy and everything in the 3D world has subatomic particles, and it's really just frequency and energy, right?
Correct.
Language is also just energy. Words are also just energy. And so...
Yes. So as an example, in my household, me and my partner, my dogs can't speak, but me and my partner, we don't use the word expensive, because that does not exist.
You use fucking expensive.
No. No, maybe you use that. I don't. So there are words that the way you talk about something, it's exactly how you're going to shape your reality.
So what word do you use? Luxurious.
Or premium.
Premium. So you call it premium?
Yes.
Ah.
But I never say that that's so premium or something. I'm like, oh, that's premium. When are we going to do that? I never say, I do have someone...
that is quite interesting, actually. That's a really good way of changing your vocabulary.
Changing a narrative, you change the story.
Right. Sorry, you were about to say something?
I do have someone that I keep hearing that person talking, and if he listens to this, he's going to kill me, but doesn't matter. He keeps saying,
Let's hope he listens.
I will never be able to afford that. Well, guess what? If that's what you're saying, that's exactly what's going to happen. And especially when you continuously say that, then that's exactly what's going to happen.
Self-talk is so important.
It's not just the self-talk, it's also what you put there into the universe. Because if you're saying you're never going to have it, then the universe doesn't want it. I'm not going to give it to them. It's God or whatever you want to call it. Whatever resonates with the audience, doesn't matter. It's still something bigger than us.
The higher being.
If that's what you want to call him?
I mean, could be a her.
Could be. Also, I actually was thinking about that the other day. I was like,
Could be a them.
Maybe it's a dog. Maybe it's a cat.
Imagine if it's a cat. I mean, I've got 3.
I have 2 dogs.
It's just fucking playing with us now.
Anyway.
I agree. I agree with everything that you're saying.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I think we have our own ability to change our own narrative. It's how we go about doing that. Words are one way, like
Thoughts.
thoughts are another way. Visualization is one. I think the idea of you being a light worker fascinates me because I've been a light worker, but you're actually using it from a healing perspective. And so cultivating that, as an alternative therapy or an alternative like medicine or,
Yeah, I think we should not use the word medicine just in case,
yeah,
because we
therapy.
don't want to have people saying that we gonna give them medication with light language, because that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's also, in the end of the day, visualization, wording, beliefs, all of them are great, and they do work. But if you're not in the right energy, if you're not in that frequency that matches whatever you desire, you're still not gonna get it. It doesn't matter if you do visualizations every day, or you do 369 method or whatever. I don't know, there are so many manifestation methods, or you journal, or you magical scripting, or you self-concept yourself. Because this is what I feel like a lot of people have lost touch. We see all these beautiful coaches online, and don't get me wrong, they're beautiful, but they all say that, oh, I've done multi-million dollars. That's great, no problem. But then when they approach you and they want to talk to you how they done it, they teach you what they've done them, what worked for them. However, the problem is that what worked for X is not going to work for me, or is not going to work for someone else, because each and one of us is different. And then we see all these people, younger ladies, who are trying to copy what the mentor did, and do the Australian tours, or do all these events and free master classes. And then they wonder why it's not really working, and they're not making the millions of dollars that the mentor did. That's because it's probably not their path. They need to remember who they are and what is good for them and what sticks for them, because maybe they're not meant to be a coach and do that. Maybe they're meant to do something else, or maybe they're meant to do that but in a different shape or form. Not just copying everyone is the solution for each and one of us. We just need to remember who we are and find our own way of doing it. And yes, there could be free things that you're going to do at the beginning and they're not going to work. Yep. But then you will eventually find it. However, if you work with me, I can help you find that faster with meditation and light language. But as you said, we are all unique, so it doesn't matter. But this is where I feel a lot of people get caught. They seeing that somebody made $10,000 a month that way, and they're like, oh, let me do it. And they start doing all these steps, and then it doesn't work. And they're like, oh, that person was just lucky. No, they were not just lucky. They first were very persuasive, because I believe persistence beats resistance. So when you persist, you're going to end up having it. But you also need to find a different way, something that makes you unique. Because if there are 100 people offering the same masterclass, why would somebody sign up with you?
Because it's me.
Yes, because your energy is what sells. But then your energy has to match your authentic self, not somebody that put a free masterclass and you're just copying the same and just changing 2 words. Because I've seen a lot of this happening at the moment in the industry, and I'm like, I sometimes get overwhelmed, and sometimes like, this person is doing this. Hold on, give 2 weeks. The other person is gonna do this, and it happens.
It is interesting, because I think finding your own way is so important, because it allows you to explore like your own journey in things,
Yes. And everyone's journey and failures and winning are going to be different than someone else.
Yeah. You touched on something at the start of that dialogue about like being in your own frequency and understanding the frequency at which you need to get to in order to
match the desire that
to match the desired.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's that it's the difference between those two things, those two states, I believe is like the most unique thing for the individual, which is why I think what you were saying before about when you see stuff online that's happening in the industry, like that approach worked for that person.
Yes.
It's not going to work for everybody.
Nope.
But how do you identify what needs to happen for the individual?
To be honest, I don't. They actually end up working it out by themselves. So usually, what happens? We're gonna do a meditation. We're gonna have a bit of chat at the beginning. Then we're gonna do a meditation, and in that meditation, they will kind of. This is gonna sound woo, but I'm just gonna say it is.
Just say it.
They're gonna meet their higher self.
No judgment.
Their higher self.
Yep.
That person who already has everything that they desire.
Mm-hmm.
And then most of the times from there, they just kind of know what they need to do next. And then obviously we'll keep chatting and stuff like that. And I will be able to channel and intuitively also guide them. But again, for every person is different.
What do you mean your higher self that's already achieved? What does
All right.
that
So
mean?
we all know that there are multiple timelines happening at the moment. So there is a
What do
version
you
of
mean?
you. There is a version of you somewhere.
What do you
the
mean
future.
there's a version of me?
Yeah, version of you somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
There's
in a
only
different-
one me, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, in front of me in this 3D reality right here, right now, is only one. But
God damn it. You mean there's more of me? How exciting.
yes, there's more of you. There's a version of you who has blonde hair. There's a version of you who
What?
loves dogs, not cats. There's a version of you of everything. You just need to choose which one you want to be.
I love all animals. What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to.
What you talking about, Willis?
You know exactly what I'm trying to say. Instead of having 3 cats, you have 3 dogs in another version of you. Or maybe you have both. I don't know.
Okay, this is getting real woo-woo now. So what you're saying though is that we're in a simulation.
My partner likes to call it simulation.
We're in a simulation and there's multiple versions of us in multiple realities.
Correct.
So you somehow tap into a higher reality
Yep.
and go, I'm going to help you get to where you need to get to. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
correct.
Yeah?
I'm going to help you get how to get there.
Right. How?
I just told you.
Fuck. I
Meditation.
wasn't taking any notes.
I was. Well, first I have to speak with them a bit about themselves and where they are and stuff like that. Then we do a meditation.
No, hang on. So I don't need you to explain it again. But
Cheeky.
yeah, a little bit. What if I'm the type of person who I'm like, I'm not really convinced, Alina.
Well, if you're not convinced, you would not be booking a session with me.
So it's at that point that you go, this is the point of no return. I've now convinced you.
Yes. Well, why would you book a session with someone if you don't believe they can help you in any shape or form?
Why do we go to a doctor?
Because you believe can help you in one
Yeah,
shape or form.
And then they don't.
But you still go with the belief that they will. Yes?
Mm.
Or no?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Same.
So typically how long does a session last? And like how long would you like work with an individual?
Well, the first session is just around an hour and 15, depends. Like I don't like if it's 60 minutes, I don't sit there with a timer and be like I'm done, whatever. We finish what we need
See
to
ya.
talk. And then based on where they are at and what steps they need to achieve, it can be a couple of weeks. Usually a couple of weeks. I believe that it's better to do a couple of weeks at the beginning and then you see your transformational, and then if things go well, we can keep booking, or you can also go off yourself for a bit and then come back later, because it's it's that sometimes some people just need the little bit of kick at the beginning and someone to hold them accountable and get them move and stuff like that. Then they can go on their own for a bit and continue doing very well. And then when they a bit not sure about things again, they need a bit of help, come back for a more guidance.
So it's pretty much just like intuitive coaching.
Yes, it is intuitive coaching. It is more intuitively, but yep.
And I like how you said when they need a bit of a kick.
Yes, because we, again, as I said, we are humans and we are very good at being complacent and being procrastination.
No.
Yes, we are.
Are we?
Yes, we all are.
We
it
are
doesn't matter.
creatures of habit.
Or if you want to call it that way, it's same.
Yeah.
We like what's comfortable and what's known. And when we have to step into the unknown, it's very uncomfortable and you need a lot of courage.
I just want to be safe. I don't want to be pushed into this.
That is very fine. You can be safe, but you're going to be
space.
staying small.
Staying small?
Yes.
That's not going to happen.
Well, so when you don't have the guts to step into your courage and do things that are uncomfortable, you will be following the same pattern as you did before because you don't rewrite the story. You do exactly the same thing as you did before. So exactly the same thing that happened before is going to happen to you again. So in order for you to change something, you need to be courageous and do something that is uncomfortable. Do you think that any of the people who have a lot of money and are very successful are not doing things that they are scared of all the time? Like even if it's just an investment or even if it's, I don't know, talking about something that's a bit vulnerable or something, they have to, because that's how you break the timeline. You get closer to that version of you that you want to get to. And that uncomfortability for every single person is different. Some person are going to be more uncomfortable spending money in certain ways. Other people will be more uncomfortable making some decisions in certain ways and will not care about the spend. And because each of us is different. Because going back to the word expensive before.
Premium.
Yes, premium. But when somebody says it's something expensive, how can you actually say that that's expensive? Because that's expensive for you. But if you go to, I don't know, Tony Robbins, for example, and you give him a bill of $100,000 for a service that he likes, he's not going to think that's expensive. He's going to think that's cheap or just normal. You know what I mean?
Tony Robbins, come on my podcast. I'll charge you $100,000.
Be careful what you wish.
Premium.
But you know what I mean? Like it's something that we as humans invented that word, but it's not really the same for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, it's also like, there's that saying, right? Like you buy a bottle of water at the supermarket, it's $2.50. You buy it at the petrol station, it's $5.
Or at the airport, yep, what is 10?
At the airport, it's like 10, and then at a music festival, it's like $15, right? It's the same bottle of water. It's just the environment that you're in.
Yep.
And what people are willing to pay for.
Correct. Yes, that's one, but it's a bit of a relative thing, because for a person who has a big bank account, it will not matter if it's 15 or 250. They will not care because they used to that energy and they know there's going to be more coming in, so they won't care to overspend on something. But there will be people who will be budgeting and looking at every dollar, and they will care to spend double on the water.
I mean, so with my photography business, I know that, and we were speaking about it a little bit before we started, the putting prices and available for people to look at and stuff like that. And then there's like a whole pricing psychology aspect to it. But I definitely think that, you know, it's all about, again, like we come back to being your authentic self. If you know your value, then put your value. Put your price as what your price is.
Yep.
Because your clients will find you.
Yes, but you really need to believe that.
Yeah.
And also know you're actually worth it of that amount that you're asking for.
Yeah, exactly.
But talking about that, so there are people who works very well for them not to show the prices up because it makes curiosity, and then they go on a sales call, and that's how it works.
But we
and-
also did establish that I'm not a good salesperson.
But that's what I established. You didn't even necessarily agree with that
'Cause
much.
I'm too.
Honest.
What did you?
I think I said
too
honest.
Too honest. Yeah, I'm too.
There's nothing wrong with that.
What you gonna do? I'm too honest.
It's nothing wrong with that. I'm just
That's a good quality to have, isn't it?
well, it is a good quality to have, but salespeople have to talk a bit of
Bullshit.
yes, because otherwise they wouldn't be in sales. I work with salespeople in my corporate job. Trust me, the amount of BS I hear every day, I'm
Really?
like,
How much BS every day do you?
a lot. But it's okay. I'm just used to it. I know their sales pitch now, so when they try to approach with something, I'm like, nah, it's not gonna happen.
Sorry to all you guys out there that have to deal with Alina. We just outed you. She knows your technique.
Of course I do.
Did you do sales at all?
Yes,
Or
I
this
did.
this is just your intuition coming out, and you can pick things up.
No, I did the sales in some point as well.
Oh.
It was a very, very short period of time, but and yes, I had to BS. You have to.
What were you selling?
Electricity.
Electricity. Were you going around door knocking houses?
Yes.
Selling electricity.
Yes, that's the beginning when I came to Australia.
I think it's funny
Why?
because you were selling electricity and now you're a light healer.
Oh, true. I never thought about that way.
Yeah.
Never thought about it this way. Yeah, true. Yeah.
Same, but different.
Well, it's called the same, but it's not the same. But
Yeah.
But yeah.
So where do you want to take, like, oh, that's just the automatic cat feeder.
Ah,
Yeah.
cutie.
The cats run.
Oh.
Where do you want to take your business? Like, where do you want to take your light healing?
Well, as bigger is it the sky is my limit? Is that the saying?
I think it is the saying, but I think we have to go past the sky now. It's like the universe.
Yep. Okay. We'll go.
Thanks to Elon, who is also into energy,
Is he?
electricity. Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
I know he has a Starlink thing. The
Tesla.
Ah, yes,
Electric
the electric car.
cars.
Yeah.
Come on, Alina.
Yeah, I did not think you were talking about that. I thought he has like an energy company or some energy research or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. He probably does, to be honest, but we don't know about it.
I mean, the man has got lots of things
Yes, going on at once.
all at once. Plus, he has 13 kids.
Yeah. Well,
Bro.
he's been busy.
He can't keep it in his pants.
I don't even know how old is he. How old is he?
He's probably like 200 years old or something.
Maybe
he's from the future.
Well, maybe he's a time traveler.
Do you believe in time travelers?
Look, I am not 100% sure that they exist, but I do 100% believe there's a chance.
Hang on. So
I have not been able to speak to someone that made me think of the energy that he's a time traveler, and I have not spoke to Elon face to face, so it's a bit hard. But he does look from the future, yes.
he does look like he's from the future, but there's a photo that keeps going around. I keep seeing it of it's a guy holding an iPhone, and the photo was taken in 1984.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that.
And obviously Apple wasn't around then.
No. There were no mobile phones back then, were they?
Yeah.
1984? No, I don't think they were.
Yeah.
Definitely not in Romania. I'm not sure in other countries.
No, definitely not anywhere else.
Well, but there are a lot of theories that say that people have access to technologies from the future because they are able to communicate with aliens and things like that as well. So I have not seen an alien personally, but that doesn't. I do believe they exist, but I have not seen one yet.
I haven't seen one either. I think it's too coincidental that we've had so much stuff happen that the probability of them not existing is so small.
It is very small, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are on Earth, helping others to develop things.
Yeah. I mean, with what's happening with AI.
Oh,
And-
that is crazy. Like,
But AI and quantum computing.
I don't know anything about quantum computing.
So quantum computing is just like extremely fast, like computer processing. It's like, how can I describe it? So, like your normal computer, the speed at which your normal computer runs at, like a computer today, depends on the microchip,
Yes.
right? And a quantum computer works off a completely different type of microchip.
Okay.
It like, the only way I can describe it is like subparticle fast,
Okay.
right? So it's computing at so much faster speeds. So that what I've heard is that that when someone gets AI and puts it into a quantum computer, we're fucked. Because it's basically going to just take over.
Are you sure that didn't happen already?
Well,
At least in experimental phases?
probably.
Mm.
There was something that I saw the other day that quantum computers have already teleported.
Okay. I did hear a couple of years ago, so it wasn't, so it's maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that they were experimenting on mouses or rats, the teleporting.
Yeah.
I believe someone in Switzerland, if I remember well, but I don't know where they are with that. And I don't think that's something that they, like, even if they can do it, they're not going to reveal it to the world, because I feel like there are a lot of things that some people have access to that they are not common knowledge for everyone. And I'm talking even in health benefits and things like that. No, as an easy example, is we are all taught by our doctors when winter comes to go get the cold and flu vaccine or whatever it's called. Yeah. Well, instead of doing that, I would just go get an IV shot with multiple vitamins, and I'll just make my immune system stronger by giving it what it needs, rather than putting some things in it that I don't even know what it is in there, if you know what I mean. But again, I don't believe that's public knowledge for everyone, because I don't know. I don't think it is. I only heard about it pretty recently as well. So again, and that's just one thing that I noticed. How many millions of other things maybe, and we have no idea about.
Yeah, there's definitely some stuff that is being kept from us on alternatives.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
That's because some people need to make money.
Oh, does that mean they're good salespeople?
No, that means they are pharmaceutical companies.
That's because they're dodgy.
Well, I just call them pharmaceutical companies. You call them dodgy. That's on you. But yes, there's so many things, like, and if you look, I don't know what you believe, but how nowadays everyone has, I don't know what this, but all these HDM, whatever, I don't know how do you call it. When somebody's too perfectionist or it's too whatever, you put them a label, yeah?
Oh, like ADHD?
Things like that,
Yeah.
Back 20 years ago, no one had labels for that.
Yeah.
It was just its particular authentic self, no? Now we have a label for it.
Yeah, I think, that's cat number 3. I think what happens is we like to label things because it helps us to, like, work through what it actually is.
But I think that a lot of the times, the things that are unique to us are our uniqueness that we need to embrace rather than reject it and try to hide it. and try to be someone else or something else just because that person looks so good on Instagram, on Facebook. We're like, oh, let's go put some, I don't know, let's dye the hair that color, or let's buy that pair of glasses or whatever. But that's the thing. You just need to find your own way. If you're just gonna copy someone else, you're never gonna be happy. Because guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna go buy the glasses, or you're gonna go do the hair or the eyebrows, eyelashes, whatever you want to call it, and that's gonna last you to be happy for what? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 days, and then you're gonna find something else because you're not happy with your self image, and that doesn't reflect self love. And here we go back to the frequency you're in. You're not in the frequency of love. You're not in a high frequency. You're in a frequency of shame, of scarcity, and then that's when you don't manifest good things happen to you.
How do you get into a frequency of love?
I think that the first step to get into a frequency of love is to learn to love yourself the way you are and accept yourself the way you are. Because the moment you accept yourself the way you are and appreciate how you are at the moment, that's when you are in a frequency of love. And then from there, you can start shifting things. She's going to jump.
You bloody better not. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, no. Okay. So it's accepting who you are, like in your body, in your health, in your everything.
Alina, I've got so much trauma. I don't like who I am.
Where's the trauma coming from?
I don't know.
No, you do know.
My childhood.
Okay, what happened in the childhood?
I don't know. I can't remember.
So if somebody doesn't remember and they do have a trauma from childhood, and to be honest, sometimes our brain is very good at that because our brain can selectively select what they're gonna remember or not remember based on how traumatic that situation was. I am not certified in hypnosis, but hypnosis is very, very good to identify it and take it out. I think so I think there's a lady, Marisa Peer, who talks about rapid transformation therapy. So it's more or less you go under hypnosis. And trust me, when you go under hypnosis, your subconscious mind, even if you don't remember right now, will literally remember what it was. You identify that and you rewrite it from there. And if you want to ask how you rewrite it by listening to something the opposite or something nice in relation to what happened 20 minutes before you fall asleep every night, because that's when your mind can be rewritten.
20 minutes.
Well, just about you fall asleep, because that's when you're in between awaken and sleep. That's when your mind registers everything and has the ability to restart again.
I'm going to try that tonight.
Yep.
20 minutes before I go to sleep.
What are you going to listen to?
I don't know.
Listen to, have you heard of the, you need to Google sound
therapy.
Sound bath before you fall asleep.
Oh, yeah. A friend of mine actually keeps sending me some.
You should try it. It's so relaxing.
Is it?
It's amazing. You're going to sleep like a baby.
I mean, I'm coming up to a pretty difficult period because it's the third year anniversary of my mate's passing.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he got married. It would have been his third wedding anniversary on Saturday. And then 2 weeks later, he...
oh, no. What happened?
Well, he went to bed and he didn't wake up.
Just like that?
Yeah.
No preconditions, no nothing?
No preconditions, nothing.
No sickness?
No sickness. On his honeymoon.
How did that happen? She must be...
He had a cardiac arrest in his sleep. And so I used to live in Perth. I met him in Perth, and then I moved here in 2001. And I moved here because of him, because he was like, you need to come here, you need to come here. His actual words were, the girls are better here. So I was like, okay, I'm coming.
Well, there's definitely better girls here because Melbourne is bigger as a city, so you have more varieties.
Anyway, and so he was my best man when I got married, and then he was there for me when I got divorced. So then when he said that he was getting married, I automatically thought he's going to ask me to be his best man.
And he didn't.
Well, the time came up pretty quick, and I just took it upon myself to organise his bucks, which was great. So I did that. And then on his wedding day, he calls me in the morning and he says, Can you come to the venue 15 minutes beforehand? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. I said, is everything okay? And he goes, yeah, everything's okay. We just got a corsage for you. So I'm like, okay. So I hung up the phone and I thought, I better go put a suit on. And I thought, okay, well, she's Japanese. Maybe it's a Japanese tradition or something or other. I wasn't so sure. I better go put a suit on. We get to the venue. I walk in. The first thing he says to me is, I'm glad you got the memo, because he was wearing a blue suit. And with me wearing a blue suit, then they put a corsage on me. And I'm looking around and I'm like, there's only 2 other women like with corsages. I'm like, I'm the best man. He forgot to ask me.
Oh, God.
He forgot.
Yeah, because he just assumed, yes.
He forgot. Yeah. Anyway, so the night of the wedding was the last time I saw him. So he goes on his honeymoon, and then 2 weeks later, I get this phone call saying that he's passed away. Cardiac arrest in his sleep. 6 months later, we find out through the autopsy that it was he had myocarditis, which is the enlargement of the heart due to the vaccine.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that time period's coming up. So on Saturday is the wedding anniversary, and then 2 weeks later is his passing. But
wow.
How did we get onto this conversation?
I don't remember. You said you're gonna try the sound bath things, so you can sleep very well.
Yeah. Because I haven't been sleeping very well.
Mm.
Yeah, because he went to bed. The motherfucker went to bed and he didn't wake up.
Yep.
And he had no nothing.
Yep. And all because of something he put in his body and didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So, yep, I know what you mean.
But he's still around. He's still here.
Look at you who said you're not intuitively. Now you know he's here.
Oh, yeah, he's here. Yeah. The motherfucker's here. I swear at his picture on my fridge every day. Every morning.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the picture.
I'm like, yeah, I know. But I'm like, what do you got for me today, motherfucker?
Do you think he's looking after you?
I think he's trying to. Yeah.
Are you still in touch with his, I can't say ex,
Widow.
wife?
Yeah, his I've tried to contact her, but oh my God, bro. He's like scratching my pants. I've tried to contact her, but are you scared of cats?
No, but I don't want her to scratch me.
Oh yeah, no. He'll probably won't. He'll stay away from you. Yeah, I haven't really been able to get in contact with her, but I'll contact his parents. Yeah.
I think he's trying to look after you. I think sometimes you don't do yourself services. No services. You know what I mean? Favors.
Yeah. I know.
And I think that sometimes you know what you need to do, you just don't do it.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, thank you. You just need to do that thing that makes you feel uncomfortable.
Why does everything have to feel uncomfortable though?
Because that's how we step in our courage, and courage. Well, authenticity is the highest frequency you can vibrate on, but rather than the authenticity is courage. The higher frequency, the better things happen to you. The lower frequency, the lower good things happen to you. Simple as that. So yes,
I need the premium frequency.
well, if you want the premium frequency, you have to start doing things that are uncomfortable, like doing and videoing weddings and taking photos of weddings for once.
How did we get on?
Because you reminded me.
Okay,
You reminded me.
I do need to do weddings. Look, I'm definitely trying a few things that I haven't tried before, and
That makes you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, it makes
Good. Keep going. The more uncomfortable, the better it's gonna get. The more uncomfortable you put yourself into things, the outcome is gonna be even better.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Okay, like I stayed clear of weddings for a long time because I didn't want the extra stress of dealing with divas or dealing with difficult people. But I went to a wedding a couple of weeks ago, and it's probably the best wedding that I've ever been to. And I spoke to the photographer, and he was like, "You should really do weddings." I was like, "Okay."
So I think that is a limited belief there, right there, because you think that something is very that they're gonna be divas and whatever. The reality is that you can find that in a normal session as well with someone else. It does not have to be a wedding.
Everyone's completely normal in a normal session.
You think so?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, of course not. So here we go. It's the energy that you attract because that's what you think. So what you think is going to turn out to be true because you think it. Because your mind does not know the difference. Its only job is like a genie. Its only job is to create what you ask for it. And if you keep asking for difficult people, you're going to get difficult people.
I think there was also the piece around me going, I don't want the added stress and pressure of taking someone's photos on their magical day because you only get one chance. But
that means you don't think you're worth it.
No, I think.
No, that's an excuse.
I agree, but I also think that that was a limiting belief in that I didn't believe that I had the capability.
Yep, you don't think you're worth it.
Which I can do anything.
I just told you the word I can't doesn't exist. Exist, I don't want.
Premium.
Premium? Why not? Luxurious, whatever you want. You deserve to have premium pricing because you deliver luxurious services.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So would you say
and we say yes to that.
Would you say that your service is premium?
I would call my services very unique and tailored to the person. I do believe my services are, I don't know if the premium is the right word for it because everyone is a bit different, but they are towards the attention and authenticity that they get with me because I also I won't just if somebody has a session with me and that they needed an advice and they send me a text, I'm gonna be like, you need to book another session or something. I'll always be there to help. I'll always be willing to advise, and I'll always be there to help them get into that authentic self. Because to be honest, a lot of times it's harder. Somebody was saying that this a while ago, and when I listened to it, I kind of was shocked for a bit, and I didn't know how to answer that. Who would you be right here, right now? What would you do today if there would be no society expectation, if there would be no judgment, if there would be no premium pricing or everything? If you can do anything or have anything that you want right now behind all this facade that we have because of society, what would you do? And honestly, it took me a while to be able to respond to that. Because we've been so taught to do this and do that and do that, and this is how it has to be and this is how it has to be, that we don't actually know what we want anymore. We just see what others have and we try to copy that. But what someone else has is not necessarily what we are meant to have. And maybe you meant for greater or for a bit less. I don't know. Everyone is different. Like some people will be very happy to just travel around the world with their backpack. Some people will be very happy to have a private jet. Some people will just be very happy to have a farm and some animals in the corner and never travel everywhere. You see, all of us, we unique, but we are so looking at the social media, which it's good social media, but not when you start being, oh, that person has this, I want that as well. Well, no, because unless you really, really want it because you need it and it's gonna. And there's another thing which I'm gonna say it and people are not gonna like it, but
What are you gonna say? Social media.
So I feel like we also a lot of we get dragged into the thing that we look at someone and they have that they bought that luxurious bag or sunglasses or whatever it is, and we just start pedestaling those people that have that and think that they are so great because they have that. But the reality is that they're not greater than you. They just found a way earlier than you to get to what they want. And also, just because somebody has a Chanel bag or Louis Vuitton bag or whatever, which I'm not against that, I'm just saying that because they have that, that doesn't not mean that they have freedom, or that does not mean they're fully happy. That's just a label that I want to they put to themselves. And sometimes they are happy and in all other areas of their life. But a lot of times the bag and the luxurious thing is trying to mask something deeper. So it could be both. So just because somebody has something, that does not mean, oh my God, they won the lottery, or, you know, my God, their life is perfect. That does not mean that at all. You never know what can be behind that bag.
I agree. I agree with everything that you've just said. Like yes, we do get sucked into this whole like social media thing, which again, I also don't think is very social, but we call it that.
No, because you just sit with your phone and then you sit at, I see this very often. People sit at their dinner table with their partners or friends or whatever. They're waiting for food. All they do is scroll on their phones. They don't even talk.
Yeah.
That's not called a dinner, in my opinion.
Yeah. And what you see online doesn't necessarily, I think 9 times out of 10 isn't necessarily what is actually happening deep down.
No, it's not. There will be instances when it will be, but most of the times it won't.
When you watch this podcast, it is what it is. When you watch me online, it is what it is. Because I always get people saying to me when they come for a photo shoot, they're like, oh, you're exactly like how you are online. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I am.
So what did they expect you to?
I don't know. I have no idea. But then they're always like, no. Like even when you're messaging, that's how you are. That's how you talk. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm my authentic self. And I know that if I just try to be myself, then I can't be anybody else. And,
True.
you know, like, I don't give a fuck.
Do you use ChatGPT a lot?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. No, I was just curious. Because I do like to use ChatGPT sometimes for helping me put the words a bit in better perspective and then rewrite it myself.
Right.
Like I'll put my words in there and then they will keep its version, and then from that version I'll just adjust it to be my own wording.
Gotcha. I mean, it's a great tool.
Oh.
It's a great tool to do that.
Have you met Grok?
I haven't met Grok. I've seen what Grok can do. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's better than ChatGPT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's another one as well. I can't remember what its name is. Anyway, I think if people use it for good, then it's just going to get better and better and better. But if people start using it for bad, then it's just like,
It is a great tool, but what I feel it could be a bit damaging is if children in particular start using that as a tool to think instead of thinking for themselves.
oh, yeah. Yeah, you need a foundation first and then use it as an additional element to like cover all bases.
So it can be then pretty bad for kids. Anyway, forget about Grok and ChatGPT now. We can't control what's going to happen to them.
It's going to happen at the end of the day. Like we're
Yeah.
going to Mars.
Well, I don't know if you know, but in the US, they use robots to help elderly people not feel lonely. So they will have, instead of hiring a person to go and speak to that old person, so they're not by themselves, they use robots now. And I actually think that is very scary because a robot is not a person. It's not a human. Like, it doesn't matter how perfect it is. It's not the same.
It's a Tamagotchi. You know, the little...
Yes. I grew up with those when I was little. And you had
It's
a little
not-
cat or dog and you had
Yeah,
to
it's
feed
not
them.
the same. You had to feed them, otherwise they die.
Yep.
Like, bro,
remember I
I
had-
just killed my digital pet.
Yep. So, yeah, that's where we're going by the looks of it. And I wouldn't be surprised if soon we're going to be calling a robot to help us with the pets vaccination or with our migraines or whatever.
Well, people are already using Chat GPT or like AI for answering legal questions, doing initial diagnoses on how you're feeling, like all this type of stuff. Because all it is just accessing a language model, right? It's
Yep.
just accessing information and then doing a analysis over what you tell it to do.
Yep. And now the question is going to be, is the ChatGPT or whatever Grok name going to be better than a doctor? Because you may have access to more information updated than a doctor will have. And it will be also maybe less inclined to have any emotions toward that thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I guess we'll live and see.
I follow an entrepreneur in Sydney who is documenting. He's recording all the things that he's doing with his new business that he's setting up, and he's using a lot of AI. But one of the things that he had as a video last week was, he goes, people are using Chat GPT all incorrect. And I
What?
was like, this is going to be an interesting video. He basically said, we just go in and we ask it questions,
Yes.
right? The way that we ask the question is the prompt, right?
Yeah.
But he then said, look at the results when I ask it this question, and then I ask it another question, and that other question is, help me ask you a question.
Okay.
And so it creates its own prompt, and then it puts that, and then he puts that in, and the two differences are so different. Like, one is very vague and one is very detailed.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we basically was like, we need to start using it to better itself.
Yes.
So ask it how it can help write the prompt for itself, right? And that's this, I guess it's this compounding multiplier of like intelligence in how to use it. But that's like who would have thought?
Yeah, no, I did not think about that either. Yeah, I don't know. This AI is gonna, and it's growing so fast as well. Like, it's
So
crazy.
so fast.
It's just, well, this is another thing for everyone who listens and they have their own business. If you using AI for your Instagram post or things like that, it's nothing bad with using it. Again, I use it as well. However, make sure you rewrite that to have your voice in it, to have your
Yeah.
authenticity. Because all these tools are great, but if they're used with a bit of, not become addictive to them, and then you lose your own voice more or less because you would not even know what to say or what to think or how to phrase something.
Yeah. Definitely putting in your own voice or your own, way of communicating is the best thing.
Yes, that is, authenticity is the highest frequency you can vibrate on.
Alina, how can people contact you?
You can find me on Instagram at Spiritual Spark Guidance, and just feel free to message me.
How many sessions are you doing a week, or like how?
Depends. Usually I try to do them Mondays or Fridays or in the weekends because the other 3 days I have to be in the office. So I'm too dragged after a full day of work. I'm not really into my higher self intuition.
Your corporate work is draining you of all your energy.
I wouldn't say it's draining, but once you've been so much in the 3D, it's a bit harder to tap into your intuition.
Yeah.
And it's better if it's fresh and if I'm like fully refreshed and not stuck into the 3D.
Yeah.
Like, it's more helpful for the person as well, not just for me. It doesn't matter, but it's better for the person because they will get more out of me and I'll be able to channel and use my intuition even more.
Yeah, that's right. What's what have you got planned for like the rest of the year?
I don't really have a strategy. Yep, I'm sorry.
No strategy.
No, I don't use strategy because things can change. Things can develop faster.
Do you have a plan?
A plan?
Yeah.
Yes, I do have a plan that I will keep servicing everyone that needs to be served and I will help everyone who I need to help. That is my plan. And where that's going to take me, that's going to take me. But I'm not trying to tell anyone how to get things done. I'm not trying to tell the universe how I want something. But I want to help as many people as I can.
It sounds like a good plan.
Well, the plan of surrender, I think, is called. Surrender manifestation instead of manufacture manifestation.
Why did you have to say that word?
Which one?
The word surrender.
I don't know, because that's how it's called.
So, so with my mate that passed away,
Yeah.
So after 6 months, so on his birthday, I went to Bendigo because he's from Bendigo to see his parents, and that was the night that his mum told us that he had myocarditis.
Why did it took 6 months, by the way, to find that out?
Autopsy, I don't know. I have no idea. He got cremated in Singapore, but I don't know. Anyway, so that night, she says to us, me and my other mate who came from Perth, she says, we went and saw a spiritual healer and in Queensland, and the spiritual healer gave us a deck of cards that each card has one word on it. And the spiritual healer said, take a card every day, and that's the word that Christian is telling you to live by, right? So his mum gets this deck of cards out and she hands it around the table, and his sister who's at the table, she gets like love. His auntie gets joy. My other good mate gets prosperity, you know. And his mum says, oh, these are regular things that we keep hearing, you know, like we've seen these cards before. So it gets to me.
Of course. And you get the card surrender.
And it's on my fridge.
Yep.
I get the card surrender, and his mum says, we've never seen that card before.
Yep. So I think you are trying to control your outcomes a lot with your mind. And I think the card and your friend Christian, I think you said, is trying to tell you to trust that there is a better plan than the one you're making up in your mind. So maybe you should actually live by that card a bit.
But like, I'm trying to surrender and not think about things. But like this fucking
The Matrix, yep.
the Matrix is just fucking bullshit.
But I feel like you are also kind of trying to chase things rather than move first and reality follows. Because if you're going to wait for something to happen for you to do the next move, then you're probably going to be waiting for a long time. I think you need to do the thing, whatever you're waiting for, before the money comes in, before the business opportunity show up, and then let the reality catch up with you.
Do the weddings.
Yes, do the weddings or whatever it is that you know that you have not been doing for whatever reason. Because you need to do the thing first, and then the reality will catch you. So, for example, if you want, I don't even know, you want a piece of equipment that is a very premium, I would do my research. I would kind of find a way to commit to it, and then you will see how the money is going to show up. Because that's how it works. When I came to Australia, I didn't know how I'm going to pay 45 grand on my master's. Had no idea.
Yeah, you had $50, right?
Yeah. Money showed up, but I moved first, and then the money showed up, and then in reality catches. That's the other thing which people keep doing. They keep waiting for the right moment to go on the holiday, for the right moment to invest in that, for the right moment to do that. But if you're just gonna wait, you're gonna sometimes maybe waiting forever and never is gonna happen, because the reality catches up when you step into your courage, when you do the thing, and then you trust it's gonna happen.
I think I know what I need to do.
Okay, well, I hope you do.
I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming today.
No, thank you for having me.
Let me take a selfie.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think I need to do.
Okay.
All right. Thanks everyone for
See you guys.
listening in. Make sure you hit subscribe, that notification bell. I'll catch you guys all in the next one. See ya.